Hey everybody, it's Lawn Dog Hotard coming to you live from the past. Today is Saturday, May 31st, 2025, and there's something new I want to do. I've been wanting to try and do this, and it's just to kind of start giving some honest reviews of the things we purchase, the rides we do, the places we stay, etc. So today, I'm going to start out. We'll see how this goes with a review of where we stayed last weekend. So last weekend, we rode out to Texas Hill Country to go ride the Three Twisted Sisters for Memorial Day weekend. And we ended up staying at this place called Walden Retreat in Johnson City, or on the outskirts of Johnson City. And well, we found it because we were just looking at places to stay. We were just looking for a hotel and came across this and thought it would be neat. It's this glamping, luxury glamping in Texas Hill Country. So we booked a room, or we booked a tent. And so here's the review of that. So when we got there, the first thing that is obvious is it's about a 15-minute ride down this gravel road from the main highway. It's a little bit of it's paved from the main highway, but you quickly turn off onto a gravel road, and it took us a good 13 to 15 minutes to get down this gravel road on a motorcycle. I'm glad it was dry. There were areas of the road that were washed out, which if it's a heavy rain, it had been difficult to get down this road. Now, it's a important thing to know that once you book, if the weather gets bad, you're sleeping in a tent in bad weather. They do not give refunds for bad weather, and you have to cancel within 14 days if you're going to cancel. So these tents were pretty pricey, and I'll get to that a little later. But anyway, so we rode down this road, and we get to the lobby area, and we're met with two of the ladies that work there. Super friendly, super helpful. We checked in, loaded our gear on a golf cart, which they do not allow vehicles in the tent area. Loaded our golf cart up. She took us on a tour, showed us where everything was, showed us a trail to the Pedernales River, showed us a place where people get married, brought us to our tent, walked into the tent, showed us around the tent. Now look, the tent was nice. It was very nice. You'd walk into kind of a living area with a nice, comfortable, probably one of the most comfortable beds I've ever slept in. A big queen size bed with a down comforter, ceiling fans, floor fans, split system air conditioners, wooden floors, nice dining area, and you walk around to a bathroom area where there's a clawfoot tub, toilet, vanity area, all really, really nice. Then outside of the tent, there's a wraparound deck, and it goes to a shower outside. We didn't use the shower. We really weren't there that much. We were kind of just using it as a place to sleep. So unfortunately, we didn't use the shower. I kind of regret that. But outside of the deck on the ground, there is a fire pit with two nice little leaning chairs where you can burn some firewood. Now, we were under a burn ban there while we were there, so burning anything was illegal. And they also had a propane grill also on the deck. Now, it was nice. It was not too hot when we got in. We turned the split system on to let it cool off. And by the time our first night, the temperature got down pretty quick. And the split system is right on top of the bed and points on the bed. So when you're sleeping at night, it got cold even in some pretty hot weather. But anyway, our first day there, after we got settled in, Antoinette and I hiked down a trail, which wasn't a long trail. I don't know, maybe quarter of a mile, maybe half a mile at most, down to the Pedernales River. Now, there was this one section where to come back up, there's a rope that you had to use to get up because it's pretty steep. Pedernales River was flowing. Um, because they supposedly had some rain the night before, the day before, or whatever. So it was flowing, but the banks of it were quite muddy. It did smell like mud. I mean, I'm from Louisiana. I'm used to the smell of mud, but I've been to the Frio many, many, many times, and this was definitely not the Frio. It smelled like mud. Um, Cliffs were cool. There are a lot of cliffs you can go walk around on. But the area didn't look like a place where you'd want to just get into the river and chill out in the river like you would at the Frio or what's that other one, the Guadalupe, or I don't know, what's the one that goes by the Schlitterbahn over there in New Brunswick. I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, it was not like one of those where you would just want to get in it and swim. Fishing maybe, but swimming probably not. Anyway, it was a nice first impression, and like I said, the bed was great. The room stayed cold. Um, they did offer us like they have a little grocery store in the lobby area where you can buy local beer, which we bought some beer, some frozen pizzas. You could buy some steak packs where you can cook some steaks out on the grill. Speaking of that, the kitchen, I was a bit disappointed with the kitchen. There was no stove, no oven. The only thing we had was this little convection oven about the size of a microwave, and then the grill outside. There was also an electric kettle to make coffee or tea or whatever. No oven, no stove. I was kind of expecting to use a stove to cook some breakfast or whatnot, but there's no stove. So I guess you can use the propane grill outside, but there wasn't a griddle on it per se to make eggs or anything. But we didn't do that. But anyway, that was the first disappointment. The second disappointment was I was expecting to have a refrigerator with a freezer in it to where we could freeze some water bottles because we're going to be on the bikes in 100-degree Texas weather the next day. No freezer in this refrigerator. It's like a little dorm room refrigerator with some, again, local beer in it, and a Brita a Brita water filter. So that was our first disappointment. Next thing that was not what I expected was the tents are on top of each other. I say on top of each other, maybe 25, 30 yards apart, and there's like 20 of them, and they're tents. There's no solid walls, so if somebody is being loud, if your neighbor's being loud, which we had some loud neighbors, you can hear them. You can hear what they're saying. You can hear some of their conversations. There's no TVs in these tents, so it's not TVs you're hearing, it's people. Now, with that said, it was nice not to have vehicles riding around in the tent area, just this little golf cart thing. Anyway, we woke up the next morning. We got on the bikes pretty early. We were out the door before the sun came up, and let me tell you, it was dark. Riding 15 minutes on that gravel road in pretty much darkness was a trip. We saw lots of wildlife, mostly rabbits, some raccoons, and a deer here and there. We ended up getting back to the hotel, to the tent that night about 8 o'clock. Went back, was expecting to take another bath in the tub. We actually took a bath. We used the tub for a bath the night before. Put our towels out, expecting to get towels. We got no new towels, so no washcloths. We had nothing to wash up with. I don't know if we were supposed to put them outside or what we were supposed to do, but we hung them on the towel on the edge of the bathtub, thinking we were going to get new washcloths. We did not. So the same towels we washed our ass with the day before, I guess we were expected to wash our face with that night. So just beware. Somebody had a dog, and so this is 9 o'clock at night. I drew me a bath. I was just going to use my hands to wash my face and wash up with some body wash or whatnot. So I'm in the tub relaxing, and all you can hear is just this dog just crying, yapping. Rah, rah, rah. So this place was supposed to be a retreat, and it was just noisy for like an hour. You couldn't relax. Finally, the dog shut up. I don't know if they took it somewheres or whatever, but it wasn't a very relaxing evening. One thing to point out again, it's tense. So the wind whips out there, and it's not violent, but you hear the wind whipping on the tent like you're in a Jeep. I don't know if you've ever had a Jeep or a convertible where you can hear the wind whipping on the windows. That's what it was like. It was a cool place. Like no light pollution out there. You can walk on the deck and just see the stars and the moon, and it was gorgeous being out there. And it was a cool place for a retreat. It wasn't quiet like I was expecting it to be because of your neighbors, because of the dogs yapping. It wasn't as convenient as I was expecting it to be. A glamping tent. There was no stove, no oven, no freezer, and you could hear your neighbors. Now, here's the big thing. Would I stay there again? I would. Two things though. I would stay there, but I would go in a vehicle and not a motorcycle so I could, maybe pack some stuff in. Um, and if the price was cut in half, because what we paid for this room it's not even close to being worth it, or what we paid for this tent. So we paid 400 and like a little over $400 a night. It came out to like $415 a night for this glamping tent, where I was expecting to have, some of the luxuries of home. For that price, I was also expecting to be a little more secluded and not so close to neighbors. Would I stay there again? Yeah, but I wouldn't pay more than $200 a night for it. So, rating system. I'm going to use a 5-point rating system, but I'm going to call it Cracklins. I mean, I like Cracklins. I'm Cajun. So I'm going to give this because of all of I don't want to give it a 3 in the middle, because it didn't meet my expectations. That would be a 3 for me. It was a little bit below my expectations, and for the price, I'm gonna rate it a 2 Cracklins. 2 out of 5 Cracklins. Y'all go check it out. Maybe you can find a special or something. $180, $200 a night. I think it would be worth it. You would really need a few days to kind of relax and unwind, and at that price point that we paid, it's just that the value is not there. But anyway, y'all, if you got questions, drop me a question at the bottom, and I'll answer everything that I can. Walden Retreats in Johnson City, Texas. All right, y'all, bye.